The last tip, and what I think is the most important one, What's up everyone? Let's get right into today's video and go through 6 tips to make sure that you get the most out of your safari. Today's first tip is to set yourself up for success. All safari destinations are different and offer different experiences, so think about what you want out of a safari and plan accordingly, whether you plan it yourself or use a travel agent. Do your research and pick a destination or multiple destinations that have the highest chance of delivering what you want to see and experience. This also relates to the season, as some things can only be seen at certain times of the year. The second tip is to lower your expectations. Safaris are an incredible experience, but if you go into them expecting to see everything, you'll most likely be disappointed. Have the attitude that you will see what you see. It's okay to hope to see something special, but you have to understand that these animals are wild and just might not show themselves on the days that you are there. Coming in at number 3 is to communicate with your guide. The more your guide knows about you, the better experience they can offer. Talk to a guide and tell him what things you are interested in. Good guides will generally ask about your interests, but some guides might just assume it's all about the big mammals, so make sure they know your interests. On the same point of communication, ask your guide questions. The more you ask, the better you learn and the better your safari will be. The next tip is to focus on what you have seen and not what you haven't. I had plenty of guests that upset themselves focusing on an elusive leopard that they hadn't seen yet and forgetting about the incredible sightings we had had up to that point. Appreciate what you are fortunate enough to see and don't stress yourselves over what you haven't. 9 times out of 10, your guide is doing their absolute best to deliver on your requests, so don't stress them out with complaints and repeated requests. Often the vehicles at game lodges head out on game drives in different directions, trying to cover as much of the reserve as possible. They usually communicate over a radio, but they are not always close enough to respond to each other's sightings. So tip number 5 is don't compare your sightings with the other guests. It's great to share your sightings with one another and celebrate the sightings you each had, but don't get angry that they saw something that you didn't, because there's a high chance that you saw something that they haven't. The last tip, and what I think is the most important one, is to enjoy the little things. Your field guide is a guide on the whole environment of that area, so in between the bigger, more exciting sightings, they'll often teach you about things like tracks, trees, or even the local culture. If you listen and appreciate these smaller things, you will definitely have a better overall safari experience. I hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know in the comments below if you have any tips like these or if you have any questions about an upcoming safari.